Hey guys and gals, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about all things helmets, and we're going to get into a very in-depth review of the Icon Airflite QB1 graphic. The Icon Airflite. So I'm going to go into an in-depth review of what I like, what I hate, what I am so on the fence about. Before I get to the Icon Airflite, I'm going to walk through the helmet that I came from as I was riding in Korea. So in Korea, I bought this helmet. This is the MT Blade SV. MT is a company out of Spain. They make helmets for races and for road use. And this is only a $150 helmet. So for about $150, it's actually pretty full of features. One of the features, of course, is the drop-down visor for sun protection. That's pretty cool on a $150 helmet. Not very common. Pin lock ready. It actually came with a pin lock insert. So for $150, like I said, in the box, a pin lock that fit the screen. So cold weather riding never fogs up. Amazing, wonderful feature. Then it's got, I guess this is called a feature, it's got one of these ratchet locks. A lot of people rag on these and tell me they're terrible, but I actually like it. You adjust it once to your size, and then every time you ride, you just ratchet it in, and you're ready to go. One or two fingers, pull it apart, and then you're ready to take it off. The thing that I like about it, so convenient, is that once you take it off, you just do that and you're ready to carry it again, just like wherever you go. Just one hand, carry it around, whatever. So I've liked this. I actually like this. This is DOT and ECE rated. You can't see it because I've plasta-dipped it, so it's a little bit tacky. The paint scheme is a little bit tacky because I plasta-dipped it myself. Features, let's see, padding. So the fit, let's talk about the fitment. When I put it on my head at the beginning, it was super snug. Now, when I say super snug, I do not mean tight or pressure points. If it's too tight or if it has pressure points, that's not a fit. Super snug means when you turn your head, there's no wobble, or the helmet goes this way and your head's already going back the other way. So I loved the fit right out of the box. However, within, I would say, a year, the padding had worn out so much that it was not super snug anymore. It was just a regular, I would say, an average fit, which means it's not loose, but it's not got that snug response to it anymore. So that was one of the issues. The other issue is airflow. There's almost no airflow in this helmet, especially in the top two vents. The top vents are worthless. They don't let any air in. So I would always have to ride with my visor up in the summer to have to put it up and then keep going a little bit more and then put it up because I don't like riding without my eyes shielded. So I would put it up during slow speeds or at stops and then flip it down and flip it up, flip it down all day long, because these vents do not let in any air whatsoever. The chin vent was better. It would let in some air and it's noticeable. However, this chin vent mechanism is quite difficult to get and it fell right off while I was riding one time. Luckily, I was able to find that. So the switch, I was able to find it somehow. And I think it was in a parking lot where I had parked every day, and I found my chin switch. So I was lucky there, but it fell right off and the switch is no good. Other than that, it fit my Pack Talk Slim really, really well. This clamp that they send fits right in there, and you're good to go with the Pack Talk Slim. I've got my GoPro mounted on the front. I did that with the PVC weld. I know you're not supposed to do any adhesives or anything, but the PVC weld, what is it? It comes in a tube, you cut it off, you mix it together and stick it on there like a putty. It's on there pretty solid. I can hold it by the GoPro mount, and that's that. This is the best place to mount a GoPro because it sees what you see and it's out of your field of vision. It's not on the side, so you get uneven drag on the helmet or super wind noise or whatever. So why did I upgrade, or why did I change helmets? The number one reason I changed, or it was time to change, is this lock had worn out. There's no more click. There's no more click that holds it in the upright or in the removed position. So I was driving along at night and hit a bump and suddenly have dark vision. Flipped it up. I have to take my hand off the steering and put my gloved hand back up there, and then suddenly hit a bump, and then it's right back there. So this visor mechanism has worn out, and so this helmet is not usable as a driver helmet. I think I can still use this as a passenger, no problem, but as a driver, I can't use it anymore. So let's talk about the Icon Airflite. This is the helmet that I chose. I did a lot of online review. I read a lot of online reviews, went to shops here and there, all sorts of websites, and I really wanted to research before I bought. So the number one deal breaker for a helmet was I didn't look at any helmets without the drop down visor. So as you can see, this one's got it, right? I had to have that. Again, for me, it's a safety issue. If you're riding and suddenly the sun's in your eyes because you made a turn and you're looking directly in the sunlight, you've got to drop that visor down. And then you get out of that and it's getting dark, you got to flip it up. No more switching in and out the main visors on the side of the road, or pulling out your sunglasses, putting them in and then getting back on the road. It's got instant sun protection, and you can take it away instantly. Sorry, I hiccuped. And you can take away instantly so you can get that better vision if it gets dark. Now, that was the number one thing that I was looking for. A full face helmet. I'm never going to have a 3/4 helmet or a half helmet or a little top hat. I'm never going to do that. Full face helmet with the drop down visor. Now, there are a lot of options out there. However, this one caught my eye mainly because of this is the only graphic that I've ever seen that right out of the box, it just fits my style. I love this graphic. This is the QB1. This is the Icon Airflite QB1 graphic. You can get this in red, red, black, and blue, and maybe another color, but I loved this graphic. It's so classy, it's nice. And even this Icon, even the Icon logo, it doesn't distract from the overall paint or design of the paint scheme. So that's one reason it caught my eye. The other is that it is so customizable. This helmet, you can buy all sorts of screens. This one is the reflective blue. You can buy reflective purple, reflective gold, silver, green, chameleon, if you want a mix of colors all together. It's just incredibly customizable. I think there's even a reflective pink where you can get the yellow high vis or the white or the dark smoke, light smoke. You can customize this, the airflow spoiler. You can buy replacement vent covers. You can even buy replacement side covers, these side covers that pull off the side to get to your visor mechanism. You can buy replacements of these in any graphic. So the idea that you can buy replacement parts or buy customized parts, that is incredibly fun. I mean, that's a cool concept for the helmet. Now you can even buy padding inserts. If the pads go bad or go soft, you can refill them with new pads. You can buy them as replacement pads. So that was really cool about the helmet. It was incredibly customizable. You can buy the Sun Peak instead of the visor, and then you can wear goggles with it. That's pretty cool. It's almost got that supermoto style chin out there. Let's talk about the vent system. So these air vents up top, there are just two up top, and then one here at the chin. The chin vent has there are two positions. This is closed, this is open to the visor. The air comes out here for the visor, and then the second click is air coming in the chin and to the visor. Now the mechanism is on the inside, so you have to stick your thumb in there. But even with a gloved hand, I've never had trouble reaching this mechanism to flip it up and down. So I've never had trouble with that. Now, to be honest, I don't know how much this actually lets in air-wise. It feels like it's letting in tons of air, but to be fair and honest, it feels like that even when it's closed. So even with this in the fully closed position, a ton of air comes up under the chin curtain and into the helmet from the front. So I've never ridden with this in cold weather, but I would assume, or I would guess, that riding in cold weather, it would get my neck and chin incredibly cool. I think that's because of the extra, so most of the off-road or adventure style helmets, that kind of style, have super long chins, and I would assume that's why so much air comes up below there. But let's talk about the top vents. The top vents are amazing. So the other day when I was trying it out, I was out there, it's a hot day, I had my sun visor down, I opened these vents, and instantaneously the entire front forehead just got super cooled. These forehead vents just took in tons and tons of air. Now there is a little bit of an issue there, because once this cools down, I mean, your forehead gets super cool. You don't really notice whether or not the air is moving toward the back and coming out the back, so the exit vents. I don't know that air actually moves across the back of my head, because this part of my head is so cold or so cool, I can't feel or I can't notice whether or not that the air is actually moving through. I think it just feels like it's hitting here and stopping and staying up in the front area. So the difference in temperature from your forehead to the back of your head is so noticeable that I don't know if it's actually venting all the way to the back. So that's one issue that I've had. The other thing is, so air's coming in here, you've got your visor down. If you move that visor up, what happens? That's going to cut off all of the airflow through these vents. Now you're venting onto the visor that's up in the shell. So when the visor is up and your vents are open, you will notice that not a lot of air is coming in. And again, because it's not hitting you on the forehead, I don't know if it's making its way back. So I don't know if that just closes off entirely the venting, or if it comes in slower and not so much. So the vents are definitely made for sunshiny days where you got the visor down. So that's that. So if it's a super hot day but it's not sunshiny, I don't know if you're going to get all the vent that can be. But with the airflow comes the big problem of sound. Moving back to my $150 helmet, this helmet had no wind airflow, but it was a super quiet helmet. Now, I don't want to say super quiet because when you're on a motorcycle at high speeds and wind's going right past your ears, it doesn't matter if you have a helmet or not, it's going to be noisy, right? So it's going to be noisy. So I hate to rag on a helmet just because of noise issue, but I will say that as noisy as this got, I never noticed it or was angry at it, because I knew I was going at high speeds. This one, however, my goodness, it is noisy. It is really, really noisy, especially with these two vents open. You get an extra little bit of noise. So with these two vents open, I can hear all the wind that's going over here. It just has that scratchy wind sound that won't go away. And then I also suspect that a big part of the wind comes from these covers over top. So these covers are about 2 millimeters removed from the front of the, from the shell. And then when you close the visor, it's about 1 millimeter thick on top of that. I suspect that a lot of air is catching into these, and these are right on your ear wells, right over top of your ear wells. And so these covers, I assume, are just stirring up all sorts of wind noise right next to your ear. So I would suspect that that's the problem, but again, I don't know. So that's one of the big problems, is noisy. It's a very, very noisy helmet. However, you put your earplugs in, you got your music on through your Bluetooth, whatever, and you're good to go. So the Bluetooth, Bluetooth compatibility, it does have ear wells for the speakers. However, they are very shallow. So with very shallow ear wells, if you have something like, so my Pack Talk Slim came with the JBL speakers, which are a little bit thicker and better quality. So they actually push onto my ears. They don't push, but I can feel my ears moving in because of that. So that's unfortunate. I wish they had a little bit deeper ear wells, but what can you do? So let's talk more about the Bluetooth compatibility. This is not compatible with the Pack Talk Slim. I talked about that in the unboxing as I was trying to set it up for the Pack Talk Slim. If you have a Pack Talk Slim, do not buy the Icon Airflite. It will not work on your system. Now you say, well, you've got it set up to fit. Yeah, but I'm using Velcro, and sometimes this Velcro comes apart, and because there's no way to use the clamps that come with the no way to use the clamps that come with the Pack Talk Slim to get it there. So this keeps falling off. I'll have to adjust that later. Also, I don't know if you can see here, I cut into the padding, the part that holds the padding into the shell of the helmet. Now, I'm not going to entirely blame this helmet, because a lot of that fault comes with the Pack Talk Slim design. I'll talk about that in a Pack Talk Slim review later. But yeah, so one thing I will say is, because of this contour or because of this profile, if you are able to get your Pack Talk Slim installed, when you set your helmet down, it doesn't sit on the unit. Going back to my old helmet, that's one of the big things, is when I set down my helmet on a table or a chair, it sits right on the electronic unit, and I didn't like that. So in every online picture that I saw of this helmet, I saw this snazzy little profile on the back of the neck, and I thought, well, it's gotta be compatible with the Pack Talk Slim. And I looked everywhere online, and I couldn't find any information to the contrary, so I bought the helmet, got it, and as soon as I opened up the helmet, I realized it's not going to be compatible. So it doesn't fit the compatibility requirements that I wanted for the Pack Talk Slim, and I'll continue to adjust and upgrade adjust and tweak how I've got this installed so that it won't fall apart on me, but it works for now. The other thing I don't like about the helmet is that the chin visor goes all the way down. Of course, that's a cool, amazing, snazzy little style, but that takes away any location for GoPro mount. So you can see my GoPro is mounted off to the side, and my GoPro sits out here. It creates a big, ugly black box on the side, and I don't know if it adds to the drag on one side of the helmet and gets it off balance. But I wish there was some way I could mount it on the chin. They do sell a visor mount so that it hooks into these two holes here, and then it tapes there with the double-sided tape, and you can mount your GoPro right there. However, as soon as you open your lid, you've got beautiful footage of the sky instead of where you're going. So The visor locks in place with a nice solid click. I like that it's solid and tight, but it's a little bit difficult with one hand, especially a gloved hand, to get it open. What you essentially have to do is push up on the shield and hold your head down as much as you can, and you're pushing against the strength of your neck to get this open. I wish there was a way you could put your fingers in between here with a gloved hand and push down on the helmet while you're pushing up on the shield, so that you wouldn't have to just push up on your chin all day long and add strain to your neck. So that's another thing that I've had a little bit of a gripe about, but I can get over. So let's talk about this the actual shield. One of the things that when I first bought the shield, the extra shield, I've got a clear that came with the helmet, but I bought the reflective blue. When I bought the reflective blue, I was on day one, I was regretting the purchase, thinking, oh man, if you just barely put your finger on there, there's a fingerprint there, it's there forever, it's gonna scratch. After a day of riding, the shield is ruined, and the gimmick of the fun, you know, the fun reflection and the fun color customization, the gimmick is all worn off after the first day. But I will say this to their credit, if you take good care of it, it actually is a lot stronger than I gave it credit for on the first day. So the care should be, after you go riding, you get bugs and whatnot splattered all across your helmet, put a hot rag, or not a hot rag, but a hot cloth, on a hot wet cloth on the surface of the visor. Sorry, it's coming down. Put a hot rag on the surface of the visor for about 5 minutes. Let the water soften any of the debris or any of the gunk that has stuck to your shield. If you do that and then slowly wipe things away with a super soft wet rag, and then polish it up with, you know, the old and then the super soft, you can actually restore the shield to almost pristine condition. So I will give them that. I thought it was a gimmick, but even little scratches like this type of stuff, not scratches, but marks and markups like that, will be taken care of if you take care of the helmet the right way. So I like that. So as we move on, let's talk about aerodynamics. As I've been riding, there's no problem with straight ahead. I do a lot of upright, so my v-strom 650 is kind of an upright seated position. I've had no super drag this way, that way, no whistling like I had with this other helmet. So I think I said that anytime I drove with the visor up, it would whistle all day long. I don't have that. So with the visor in the up position, in the middle position, or down position, there's no whistle. It is a loud helmet, but I don't feel any strain of aerodynamics when I turn my head to the right or to the left, whatever. As I'm riding, there's no sudden huge drag that pulls it out of proportion or twists my neck. So I like the aerodynamics of it. So that's an amazing thing. So versatility with the customization of it, then the fact that you can ride with no extra strain. I like those two issues. Now let's talk about fit. So with my first one, I said that the fit was super snug. When I got this one, I'm a medium, so this one's a medium, this one's a medium, my head's a medium. When I put this on, day one, it was super snug, just like I like it. I've worn this for an 8-hour ride. I've been wearing it for about a month and a half now, but one day I took an 8-hour ride, and for 8 hours I had it on my head and I was fine. There were no pressure points, no tight spots where I started getting headaches. Everything was okay. However, when I put it on and when I take it off, it just rips at my ears like nothing else. So I hate putting it on. I hate taking it off, because it seems to me that the opening is much narrower than the actual insides of the helmet. So I guess that's good that it'll stay on in case of an accident. but I just dread putting it on and taking it off. So I would rather go in and go shopping for 10 minutes and get sweat pouring down my face than to take it off and then go in and do the shopping, put it back on. Just because right now, so far, it is incredibly painful to put on and take off. But again, when I'm riding, when it's on my head, I feel no tightness. So I don't know why they would design a helmet that fits so perfectly when it's on, but pulling it on and taking it off makes so much pain. So let's talk about the insides. I really like these padding. It's called the Hydra Dry or whatever technology they say they have. But I've sweated in this helmet. I've taken the padding out to wash and clean, and I really like the insides of the padding. They're very soft against the skin, not terrible on sweating and difficulty there. I don't like, I'll say it again, I don't like the fact that I have to remove my pack talk in order to remove the insides of the helmet. On this one, I can leave my pack talk installed and pull this out, pull the padding out in a way, and it's still connected. I can't do that on this one. I have to remove the pack talk and take it all out and get it all out, and that is a pain in order to get these out because this goes all the way to the side. So I've talked about a few things. Main gripes are the noise. Main gripes are the incompatibility. But the last thing I'll say is the Icon Airflite is a $320 helmet. And so when I bought the helmet, I was excited knowing that, man, I'm gonna buy a good high-level helmet, and no more $150 cheap thing. I want to go safe. That's my main concern. I want to get a safe helmet, a helmet that's good, that will protect me in case of some accident. What I didn't think to do in all the hype of the design and the style, that's what bring a lot of people to this helmet is style. What I forgot to do, or I forgot to consider in all my excitement of the buy, was I forgot to check out the actual ratings. Now, this is DOT rated, and it says ECE certified, and it's got all these other things. That's the same, those are the same things those are the same certifications on this helmet. But there is a website that I had forgotten about. I've seen it years past, and I forgot to check. Sharp, S-H-A-R-P. I believe this is a European, maybe a British website for, I guess it might even be for the government to test, to independently test outside of the manufacturer. It's not affiliated with any of the manufacturers, but they do a lot of testing on all sorts of helmets, and you can find the rating. So what I was thinking is paying so much extra money is going to get me such an extra safety rating, and I bought it. I saw DOT ECE, that's perfect, that's amazing, and I bought it. Well, what I found out was the safety rating on the Blade 1 and the safety rating on the Icon Airflite is actually the same rating according to the Sharp website, and they do a lot of tests. They test the front, they test the sides, they test the top, and they test the back, and they test impacts on all areas, and they give you a good breakdown. I'll show some pictures of those breakdowns. But what I found out is for double the money, I didn't get double the safety. And that's one of the big regrets that I have about this helmet. I wish I would have looked more in depth about the safety and not so much about all the features and the customization and been so distracted by that, because in the end, this is to protect my head. So this has a 3-star rating, as does this, and this actually has a little bit less protection here than it would on this one, according to their testing and their research and the results. But It seems to me Icon, you know, I've heard it all the time, Icon is just for squids, or Icon and it's just for looks. But now that I've had personal experience, it seems like if they would put in a little more research into, rather than customization and the marketing and the selling points, if they would put a little bit more research into the actual safety of their helmets. They don't have any 5-star helmets, according to the website. They have one 4-star helmet out of all their lineup. If they would put a little bit more research and development into the safety aspect, I think they could go a long, long way. So I will say this, when you're looking for a helmet, don't be distracted by all the extras. Look for safety first. One of the things that I would say is the drop-down visor is actually a safety point. I know that sometimes the drop-down visor takes away the Snell rating. I know it takes away some of the extra, maybe safety on the front side of the helmet, but I would say it is a safety feature, because if you're riding into the sun, you need that protection. And then if you turn away from the sun, especially in the dawn or the dusk, when it's changing, when the sun's coming up and you're looking straight into the sun, but then when you're not looking at the sun, you need that extra clear removal of the sun protection. You got to be able to flip from sun visor to no visor. So there it is. That's my review of the Icon Airflite. I hope I didn't miss anything. It looks amazing. I'm very happy with the fit. I love the helmet. I actually do. Just those few things that I've griped about, and the safety. I wish I had, looking back, I wish I had actually checked the safety rating before I bought it, just so that I could know that I'm getting a helmet that is safe and great. For the price, this MT Blade, I would say an amazing helmet. Like I said, it's quieter than this one. It's got just the same safety rating, tons of features. The only problem is it wears out quicker. The padding wears out pretty fast, and the clasp that holds it up wore out pretty quick. But if you go for a price, half the price, you could just replace this helmet every time, or you could replace this more often and you'd be fine. But like I said, I don't find this in the US, so I'm going to stick with my Icon Airflite. I like it. I'm going to do my best to keep it in good condition, keep it maintained, well maintained, and that's my review. Love you guys. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Bye.